We now return to Secret Societies on History's Mysteries.
According to the conspiracy theorists' view of the world, the Knights Templar, fleeing persecution by the King of France, bring their secret knowledge, whatever that may have been, to Britain and form regional clubs called lodges in a new organization called Freemasonry. Modern Masonry, however, claims no connection to the Knights Templar.
Probably the #1 secret society in terms of fear and speculation are the Freemasons.
The Freemasons are the connective tissue that have carried ancient knowledge all the way through the centuries up into the modern secret societies.
Just about the only thing conspiracy advocates and Freemason historians agree on is the date of the first Grand Lodge meeting of the organization, June 24th, 1717, at the Goose and Gridiron Ale House in London, England. The Freemasons were founded as an organization dedicated to the free exchange of ideas.
That might sound simple and obvious today, but there weren't many such places where individuals could get together and freely discuss the issues of the day.
And almost from its inception, there are conspiracy theories about the Freemasons' hidden agenda.
They were seen as subversive by the autocratic kings who ruled at that time, who fostered theories about how subversive and evil these lodges were, whereas in fact they were nothing of the sort.
Freemasons arrive in America as early as the 1730s, and very quickly they establish a membership roll of prestigious colonists.
Of the 56 signatories of the American Declaration of Independence, 50 were known Freemasons, only one was known not to be. George Washington's first inauguration in 1789 was a Freemasonic ritual. Look at the pictures.
At the same time that American Freemasons are supposedly using their secret knowledge to create a new country, a Freemason in Bavaria by the name of Adam Weishaupt forms a secret society known as the Order of the Illuminati.
The Illuminati were a small group that attempted to apply the ideals of the Enlightenment. They tried to create a just society in a corrupt world, and they wanted to do this all in a private way.
Within a few short years, the Illuminati grows to over 2,000 members from throughout Europe. The organization claims to be a forum for free thinkers to discuss political change. But to the rulers of Europe, it is a subversive secret society, and the Illuminati is suppressed just 8 years after its inception in 1784.
The Illuminati were simply closed down by the ruler in Austria. And that was that. They went out of business, but not in the imagination of people who fear it.
The Illuminati were not just involved, they were the driving force behind the creation of what we now call the United States.
Ike and others point to the fact that the Illuminati's symbol, the pyramid with an all-seeing raised capstone, is also a symbol of American governance.
The reverse of the Great Seal of the United States had this Illuminati symbol on it. And one of the great frontmen for the Illuminati in the 20th century, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, put it on the dollar bill, the same symbol. And if you look at the words above and below, it actually says welcoming the arrival of the new secular order, the New World Order. And the New World Order is one of the code names for this Illuminati agenda.
Even the most endearing of all American icons is believed by many to be a symbol of the Illuminati conspiracy.
The most obvious symbol of the Illuminati through history has been the torch, or the lighted torch, or the flame. Illuminated ones, Illuminati. Now, the most famous lighted torch in the world is the Statue of Liberty, right, in New York Harbor. Now, of course, because of the propaganda, Americans see that as a symbol of they're in the land of the free. That Statue of Liberty was given to New York by French Freemasons from Paris. And in this topsy-turvy world, that is not saying in New York Harbor, look, this is the land of the free. What that's saying is, we're running the show, we're telling you, but you can't see it, can you?
I think it's all nonsense. It is nonsense that's repeated and acquires a certain reality because it's repeated decade after decade by so many people, but it doesn't make it more true.
The official Freemason history claims no connection to the Illuminati nor any other type of secret inner circle by any other name. In fact, some state that the Freemasons are not a secret society, but an open society with secrets.
Now, I don't want anybody to get the wrong idea. I'm not saying that all Masons are sinister conspirators. It's not the case at all. But what Masonic historians and authors have made very, very plain is that within Freemasonry, there is a small inner core, an inner circle, if you will, of people who have some knowledge of the true agenda. And then you have a huge outer circle that basically doesn't even know the inner circle exists.
Who are the handful of men inside this so-called inner circle? To find the answer, conspiracy advocates point to one secret society in continuous existence since 1832.
Skull and Bones is a springboard for a young man to be brought in, trained, conditioned, imbued with these doctrines, and then placed into positions of power to carry out the agenda of the older secret societies.
The ratio of Skull and Bones members who go on to significant positions of power, either in front of the camera or behind it, is enormous. The Skull and Bones Society does not operate in isolation. It is a strand within the greater web, and an important one in America. Presidents are not elected by ballot, they are selected by blood.
The Skull and Bones Society is founded in 1832 by 15 seniors at Yale University in New Haven, Connecticut. They establish a secret society with rules and rituals that remain unchanged to this day.
Well, secrecy has always been extremely important to Skull and Bones, but there's been a schizophrenic kind of aspect to it. For instance, throughout the early 1900s, the New York Times would often publish, sometimes on the front page, the names of the new Skull and Bones initiates. And the Yale class books would, up until the 1960s, publish the names of each class of Skull and Bones. Still, even though their identities were known, what they did inside the tomb was still supposed to be top secret.
The tomb is the Skull and Bones Clubhouse, a 3-story, almost windowless brownstone on High Street.
When I was an undergraduate, and I lived next to it, it's a very spooky kind of place, and you could project all sorts of fantasies about what sort of spooky and horrific things were going on inside, just from the sense it gave, from the intimidating kind of aura it had.
10 years after he graduates in 1968, Ron Rosenbaum sets out to penetrate the confines of this secret society.
You would hear all sorts of stories about the initiations that went on, the kind of horrific psychodramas that they would put the initiates through. You were supposed to be able to hear screams, blood-curdling screams coming out of the tomb of Skull and Bones. And there were tales of strange sexual confession encounter groups, guys lying naked in coffins, wrestling in mud piles.
Rosenbaum attempts to interview the Bonesmen themselves, but most refuse. Instead, he gathers information from people close to the members, particularly girlfriends who have been given secret information, and some of whom have even been allowed inside. They describe an interior with all the trappings of a late Victorian Gothic fantasy. There is heavy, dark furniture, medieval armor, animal heads, and everywhere there are skulls and bones, including a skeleton bonesmen call Madame Pompadour.